doing in my house? Oh, April 1st? Really? That's... Wow, I guess it... Okay, look, I know, it's been a while since I've uploaded a video, a month and a half even, but... I mean, come on, I've been really super busy. I've been trying to find a job. I've been sending out job applications. I'm musical director for a show in a couple of weeks. I've been getting engaged. There's just been a lot going on. Well, yeah, I know you guys miss me, but I don't have anything prepared right now. I can't do a review. I have to... Is it May 25th? I guess it is. Yeah, I guess that is a... I guess I could take that opportunity. I did finish reading it a while ago. I could... well, let me just get dressed real quick and I'll... No? Right now? Okay. Do this quickly. This room's gonna get really hot after a while. So yes, friends and neighbors, you read the title correctly. Today, my first video in about 6 weeks, I am going to be doing a favorite books review. And I haven't done one of those for almost 2 years. For those of you who are relatively new to the channel and haven't had a chance to watch all of the videos that I've uploaded, Favorite Books Reviews was actually my very first reviewing series on BandGeek 8408. In this series, I decided to compile a list of all the books that I had ever, at any time in my life, considered a favorite, whether it was when I was in elementary school or whether it was a year ago. And I would go through this list, reread these books, review them, and try to figure out if they were still favorites and why or why not. I thought this project would take a year. That was back in 2009. In that first year, I reviewed 25 of those books. In the next year, I reviewed 23. In the year after that, I reviewed 2. And in the year after that, I reviewed none. So yeah, I haven't touched this series for a while, partly because I haven't had a whole lot of time to read for pleasure, and partly because the books that I am left with now are largely series of anywhere from 3 to 14 books. And one of those series I finished listening to on audiobook during my various drives in the past few months, and it seemed appropriate to review it today on Towel Day, May the 25th. This is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is one of those books that you wouldn't think would be considered a classic, but it kind of is. It's one of those books that you often find on top 100 books you need to read lists and of that sort of thing. I found that when I was getting ready to reread The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and was trying to think about what I had liked about it before, I realized that I really couldn't remember what happened in this book. Like, I could remember the characters, I could remember the basic premise, I could remember some of the scenes and some of the ideas, and I could remember that I found the book hilariously funny when I read it the first time around, but other than that, I really couldn't give you a comprehensive plot synopsis. And even now that I've reread it more recently, I still would have some difficulty telling you exactly what was accomplished in this series, because not a whole lot is. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series follows the adventures of a completely ordinary Earthling by the name of Arthur Dent and his friend from somewhere in the neighborhood of Beetlejuice, Ford Prefect. Arthur is rescued by Ford just moments before the Earth is demolished by an aggressive race of aliens known as the Vogons. Now, Ford is a writer for a text known as The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is exactly what it sounds like. It is a guide to all of the interesting things in the galaxy. And Ford is basically a professional hitchhiker around the galaxy, and he takes Arthur on this whirlwind adventure through some of the weirder aspects of the universe. And from there, it's pretty much just whatever ridiculous ideas and plot elements Douglas Adams could come up with. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy makes fun of just about everything. Journalism, politicians, religion, conspiracy theorists, the sci-fi genre, itself, everything. And I think what I find most memorable about this series is the writing style. Most of the jokes in this series you find yourself laughing at for 2 different reasons. First of all, the humor is off the wall and weird and insane and just wonderfully ridiculous. But at the same time, it is at its heart satirical, and so you can find a lot in there that is familiar, that relates back to something that you know very well. And the writing style has the sort of dry wit that I really, really love in writing. Writing these completely ridiculous ideas, completely ridiculous sentences in such a serious and straightforward way that you can't help but find it funny. Like the idea that flying is as easy as throwing yourself to the ground and missing. But the funny thing is that as ridiculous as the ideas are, a lot of them really do get you thinking about some very complex and thinky concepts, like the nature of the universe or the nature of probability. And as you really start to think about this story, even though it is ridiculous, even though it is lighthearted comedy, it's really kind of brilliant in its way. Now, the one book in the series that I'm not as crazy about is the fifth one, Mostly Harmless, and it's because it's a little overly complicated. Parts of it are actually kind of boring, and it kind of ends on an anticlimax. Now, from what I understand, Douglas Adams had intended to write a sixth Hitchhiker book, but then he sadly passed away before he could do it. However, there is an unofficial sixth Hitchhiker book by the guy who wrote the Artemis Fowl series, and I haven't read it yet, but I do own it, and I might actually read it someday. But on the whole, the Hitchhiker series is absolutely brilliant. I love reading it, even though I can't remember exactly what happened, what was accomplished in the story. I love reading the book because they make me laugh and they make me think about things, and it's just absolutely a delight to read. If you, for some reason, haven't read any of the Hitchhiker books, definitely go check them out. These are still on the favorites list. Absolutely, I would read them again in a heartbeat. And that's my review of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series. I am going to try to impose a little bit more order onto the Favorite Books review series. We kind of got completely out of control for a few reviews there, and I was just reviewing whatever. However, because it was requested of me, the next series of books that I want to review on this series is Piers Anthony's Incarnations of Immortality series. Hopefully I will actually get to that next time, but who knows. And that does it for me for this review. Until next time, remember, don't panic. See you later. Wait, what did I say?